Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of ADHD and Crochet, and the third part of Turtle Mania. We're going to go ahead and pick up right where we left off last time of finishing sewing this shell onto our pink and rainbow turtle. One little side note, I did go and get a little mat to work on this time. I actually did make this mat myself. Just a little tiny blanket, little lap blanket of coffee bean stitches. And Bean is still with us. You probably saw her right there momentarily. But we are just going to kind of continue on here. Same pattern as last time. So we have a little bit of space that we're going to have here between where the shells connect to the shell and where the shell connects to the leg. Yeah, just like we did on the other side. We should definitely finish this one before we even get close to halfway through the video today. So that'll be nice. There's probably going to be a little more cat hair than I'd like involved, because this little mat that I'm working on has a few purposes. Normally, its purpose is as a protection blanket against my cat's claws, because one of my cats loves to be in your lap, but she's really bad about being in your lap. She will dig her claws into your skin. So we use this as a little protection blanket. Now this is the same day for me as it was the last video, so I am still working on that coffee, and it has definitely kicked in. So my cup of coffee is probably going to make an appearance for the next couple weeks, and I'm sorry, because I'm probably going to get a little more unhinged as these videos go on. That's how my ADHD works. The more caffeinated I am, the more energy I have, the less sane I am. And I think that works for many people, but it's definitely true for me. Now, you may have noticed last week, and now, and if you haven't, then I'm going to tell you anyways, but my shirt is a Halloween shirt. It has a kiwi bird, a cat and a corgi on it that are all dressed up for Halloween. By the time this video comes out, it'll only be August. But I love spooky season. I love Halloween. It is my favorite holiday. And anyone who tries to tell me otherwise is just wrong. Alright, so we are at the point now where I just connect to the body back here. We're no longer connecting to the leg, just the body. We're just going to try and match up best we can how we did it on the other side. Sorry if it's a little hard for you guys to see. I also feel bad about holding the turtle in this way. Oops, oh well. Don't hold real turtles like this. Speaking of turtles, we went on vacation to Missouri, and we actually saw a turtle or tortoise or terrapin or whatever trying to cross the road while we were on our way up to one of the activities we were going to, and it was like an hour drive, and we happened to see this turtle in the road, so my husband stops the car, pulls over, stops the car, gets out, runs back, directs a cop car to go around or over the turtle in a way that would not hurt the turtle, and then proceeds to pick the turtle up and cross the road with the turtle. Luckily, this was not a super busy road, but it just reminded me of that one video, Turtle Saving is a Hobby, which is so iconic and funny, and also really sad because that was a tortoise in that video. No, my husband did not toss the turtle into any body of water. He just gently put this turtle in the bushes on the other side of the road where this turtle was trying to go in the first place, so that the turtle was not trying to be in a dangerous situation anymore. But yes, my husband is a turtle saver. We love animals in this household. If you couldn't tell by the number of cats we have, the fact that my cats get to debut in my videos, and the fact that I've literally made a compromising blanket that allows me to give my cat my lap without my cat destroying my lap. Alright, so this top shell is now completely attached. And now we just have to attach the bottom one in a similar manner. I don't need to go across these edges anymore. I just need to connect it to the top and bottom. Oh, there's a little bug. Hello, little friend. Go away. That happens sometimes. Little beetles like that get in places. I like bugs. I like bugs as much as I like animals. There are a few bugs that I don't like, namely mosquitoes and ants. Ants are cool. Ants are terrifying. Ants have their place in the world. Mosquitoes technically have their place in the world. At least some species do. Other species are just disease spreaders, and they can leave permanently. They just make me itchy, and I don't appreciate it. But even the cockroach has its place in the world. Alright. So we are working on this underside here. And I kind of have a little life hack going here. I have an ice pack on the side here because it does get so hot here, and I intend on being here until my turtles are done, if at all possible. Probably not, but I'm going to try. But anyways, so I have this ice pack here, and the ice pack, because it is so warm in this room already, and it's only not even 9:30 yet in the morning, I've been using this ice pack to keep my phone warm. Or, not warm, cold. Keeping it from being warm and overheating while recording. Because I record my audio on my phone and then edit the audio and video together separately. Fun times. But that being said, I've been using it to keep my phone from overheating in the heat of this room. But it is condensing. So there is water on the ice pack. So I've had to adjust things a little bit so that my phone does not get damaged by the water. But I am able to use that water to make my yarn cooperate. So that's fun. I could probably put my coffee on this ice pack as well and get iced coffee out of it. But it's fine. So I do want a little bit of this pink to show here on this underside, so I am being very careful as to where I place my stitches. I couldn't see it, but he looks like a little ice cream sandwich currently. Now, I did make a mistake that if I did not currently tell you what that mistake was, you probably wouldn't think anything of it because everything else looks very intentional. Um, I meant to make the very last row of this part of the shell also that creamy, sparkly white. Um, and then I just entirely forgot to because I had gotten to the last row and then realized I was on the last row and I was already done with the last row when I realized it was the last row and, well, I wasn't gonna undo it. I just left it. And that happens sometimes. I don't think it looks bad. I think it would have looked better if I had done it. It would have looked a little more intentional and just matched everything a little bit better. But it's fine. Oh, wait, no. Back ones did not have that on the front. They're not going to have it on the back. Everything was fully attached on the back end. And that's how we're going to leave it. Follow what we did on the front. My face is still itchy. I did take my allergy medicine, but it is not helping today. So I can tell I'm in for a fantastic day. Always a fantastic day when you have an itchy nose that will not stop itching. I think it's just because my husband did yard work outside. Um, that always stirs everything that I'm allergic to up. But that's fine. That's fine. Luckily, the state we're moving to, I'm not allergic to anything in it that I know of. I'll have to go through my allergy list, which is a lot. We tested like 70 something things on me, and I was allergic to 60 of them. It was a shorter list of what I wasn't allergic to, which cats are not one of the things I'm allergic to, but I am allergic to dogs. Not like highly allergic to dogs, but a little bit. And I'm also allergic to mice, apparently. Again, not highly allergic to it, just a little bit. It would bother me a little, but not enough for me to care. I do plan on eventually getting dogs because I eventually plan on having livestock. I want some working dogs. I want a working dog, a guard dog, and then the family pet dog. Obviously, all these dogs will have their fair share of love and affection because I am not a monster. But when you have livestock, you also have to take into account your livestock safety and helping yourself out a little bit with dealing with your livestock. Alright, so what I did there was I just kind of went into this little gap here and just moved my yarn over. And you kind of anchor it in place. Over again. We're going to come into here. Do our little 3 stitches here. That's what we did on the front. On the top side, 3 stitches where it is not attached. And then attach it for like 2 or 3 stitches. And then a good number of stitches where it's not attached before we get to the neck area. Now I don't think I actually went over why I went and grabbed this pad that I'm working on. It's for the next turtle. The next turtle is mostly black. I may have mentioned it in the last video, but I'm going to say it again this time because you are going to see it. It is just like the stained glass nautilus in that it is black with rainbow accent color. And it is a little bit different of a black. It's a little less textured, I think is my best word for it. I don't know, but it will be harder to see on the black table. So I got my little mat here to give you guys a colored background to work on, for me to work on, for anyone who actually wants to see what I'm working on. So, doesn't make too much of a difference here, and that's just fine. Doesn't need to, but I'm not going to, but I just put it in place. Didn't risk making everything wiggle or have weird feedback from me touching things. Best I could. Oh, my yarn. My yarn is fraying. That happens sometimes. My yarn frayed. This yarn is very delicate like that. Okay, I'll just put that off to the side. I'll put this through the needle. We'll work with what we have. Try to be gentle with it. So we are fully attached. Oh, it did it again. We are fully attached to the neck here. Gonna have to tuck this in, I think. We're going to use the longer piece that broke off a few seconds ago. We are gonna put through here. Off that little bit of excess that's kind of sticking out there. And start working our way across here. Just have to make it to the back end there. This yarn was a little more difficult to work with in actual crochet because it is so fluffy and it does like to unravel and become just thin roving. But the colors are so neat. That I just had to make a turtle shell out of it. Alright, and then we are back to our little space. 1, 2, 3. I'd be a little more gentle. And we are again just going to pass it through here, this little space between the shell. I decided to jump off my needle, but that's okay. We'll just pop it back on. And again, we are just going to pull it through this stitch. Work our little spaces here. Oh, come apart on me here. We are almost done. Sometimes you have to coax the inanimate object to cooperate. Now, will using compromised yarn like this cause a problem in stitching? I don't think so. I could be wrong, um, but I don't think so. Because it does strengthen once you get it on there properly. It's just pulling it the way I have been loosens the fibers in the yarn itself. We just have to be a little more careful in how we do this. It's fine. Not that big a deal. I do have scrap yarn I could use if I need to, but I don't think we need to. Now, what did I say ow to? My needle here rubbed against my thumb quickly, and it was not very pleasant. All right. Last limb is attached fully on both sides. Now we are just going to attach it to the body. Again, I am going to leave just a little space of pink here, so it looks kind of like a little ice cream sandwich. Strawberry and berry flavored. Got those berry flavored cookies. Yeah. Ah, no! It did it. It did it again. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna tuck that in. I could technically use it, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna tuck it in. I'm going to go from the same stitch that we just went through. Go over the same stitch we just did. What this does is it helps strengthen that spot since I'm not tying it. Pulled it on it a little too far out from the base, which made it weaker in the middle. Gotta be careful of that. It's okay. We only have like 4 stitches left. And then we are done with this turtle and this yarn. At least this yarn for now. I will probably end up using this yarn for other projects. I do really like the yarn. I think it has a gorgeous color. What I might do is this dark rainbow with the bright rainbow that causes stained glass to make a snail. But I'll probably just use it on the shell only and use the bright rainbow as the accent color that it calls for. But that's later on. Yeah. We're going to very carefully make a knot here and then hide our yarn inside here. Probably don't even need to cut it, but I'm going to snip there. And we are done with this turtle. Is it perfect? No, that's okay though. Doesn't need to be. It is cute. I think it's cute. I'm happy with it. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. The next one is going to be our stained glass turtle. He is quite a bit bigger. He's the biggest turtle that I have available here. I have all the parts pinned where I want them eventually as just kind of a reminder of that. And I kind of pinned the parts of the shell to the shell and the turtle on accident. So don't mind me while I very gently, very carefully remove him so that we can get to his limbs. Because none of him is sewn together. This one I again did not entirely follow the pattern. There's actually supposed to be 14 or 15 more parts on the shell than what I have here. As we will see when we get to the next turtle, the third and final turtle. But this mostly black body is why we have this padding here. Now I am pretty happy with how he turned out. This yarn's motto is absolutely less is more. Especially when you look at the bottom part of the turtle. This is kind of what I wanted to do on that last one, but with the creamy white instead of the rainbow. I just didn't get the opportunity because I forgot. My body is reacting to my coffee. I'm sorry. All right. So let's get this extra stuffing off. Off him. And let's sew the arms in place. Looks like I did get them pretty even, which is good. We're just going to go ahead and start sewing. So because I did make fewer parts on him than the other one, he is going to be the less complicated one to sew together, just because I obviously did not add the eyelids, did not add a mouth to him, and did not make as many parts. So we are just going right into the limbs on him, but we will have to sew the top of the shell. So it is still more parts than the last one, but it's still less parts than the next one. So this one we will probably get through the limbs for this video, potentially. They are the same number of stitches as the slightly smaller one, but it is larger, so it does tend to take a little more time to get through every stitch. So I don't know how many videos this little guy is going to take, but he is very soothing to hold. I don't know if it's just the shape or if it is the amount that I've stuffed him. But once I made the body, before I even made the limbs, I just sat there and held it for 5 minutes in my hands, just kind of like a hamburger. I found it very soothing to hold. I don't know, I'm weird. My husband kind of looked at me funny when I had told him that, and made him hold it. But he also, every time he gets a new set of dice, reorganizes his dice. And we are dice goblins, dice dragons. We have a lot of dice. A lot of dice. They say when you have a hobby, you have two hobbies in one. Buying things for your hobby and then actually doing your hobby. Those are their own hobbies, and buying dice is absolutely its own hobby. It is fun to look at dice. It is fun to purchase dice. I especially like dice that are brightly colored and slightly clear, if not completely clear, minus the fact that they are colored. But it's because I want to put them in my mouth like candy. They look like candy, and I really like them. I want to eat the forbidden candy. So he's learned this about me after the many years that we've been together. And so every time he gets a new set of dice that is even slightly candy-like, he will ask me if I want to eat them. And that's basically our way of saying, do you like these dice? So I'm a little weird. We all have our thing. It's fine. Totally fine. So this yarn is not as soft as the one that I used on the stained glass Nautilus. Um, it is a different brand. It is a cheaper brand. It is Walmart brand, to be exact. Um, it is still a very sturdy yarn, and it's got a nice enough color. It's just not soft. It's not very soft. It's fine. There isn't anything particularly wrong with it. I think it's acrylic, which doesn't really mean anything to the softness of the yarn because there are some really nice acrylic yarns that are very, very soft. Um, this is just not one of them, but I only paid $3 for it, so I'm not going to complain too much. I don't know that I will be selling this guy. The stained glass Nautilus, I don't think I'm selling him at all because I kind of fell in love with him and I really enjoyed this black and rainbow stuff. It's put a lot of joy in me in these stressful times, so I think I'm going to have to keep them. I don't know. At the moment, I don't love the turtle as much as I love the Nautilus, the stained glass Nautilus, but it's definitely up there in my favorites. We've hidden our yarn, snip, snip, move on. We have the first arm fully attached. Now, something I want to note about the slippers, the pattern has you make them the exact same way, just a number of them. So you may notice that the edge stitch here does look a little different. Um, they are reversed. They are made the same way. And I do not know how to crochet with my left hand, otherwise that would probably fix the problem. So I might make an attempt to learn how to do that so that I can flip those the way I need them to be, so that I can make right and left stuff. I do have some patterns for left-handed crochet stuff. It just kind of happened to be part of a pattern I bought and I was interested. I am mildly ambidextrous. There are some things that I do better with my left hand, but I am predominantly right-handed. So that's going to have to be a thing I try at a later date. That sounds frustrating. And I have enough frustrating things on my plate right now. Another funny thing, I finished actually making all the parts to this guy last night after I finished the stained glass Nautilus. When I started my Turtle Mania video recording, this turtle was not done yet. I still had to make the parts to the shell, the top parts to the shell, the actual tiles of the shell. I had not made those yet at the time I recorded the stained glass Nautilus completion and the beginning of the pink turtle. But these do go relatively fast. The tiles are only 4 rows each. I think one of the tile types is actually 6 rows. They go really quickly. They are not very complicated. They are not very big. They are only big on this guy because I used a bigger yarn. That is it. We've gotten to a weird spot. So he's going to be nice and close to that camera for you. Yeah. I decided not to give him eyelids just because I used those rainbow eyes and I really didn't want to hide them. They just look so pretty. And not doing the eyelids does give him a little bit cuter of a face, a little more cartoonish of a face. And that's okay. Sometimes that is just fine. It fits the product better to be cuter rather than realistic. And since we're doing a stained glass turtle, who cares about realism, right? The details are fun, but sometimes they are a little much. Less is more, you know? The other guy does still look very cute, just a little more realistic in shape, just definitely not color. The next one I will do is a little more realistic in color, just because I did use greens. Used green and blue though, so it is not that realistic, but it's a stuffed animal. So I mean, who really cares that much about their stuffed animal being completely accurate? There are very accurately shaped stuffed animal turtles in gift shops that are pink and tie-dye. So, who cares? Who cares if my turtle shell has a little bit of blue on it? At least the colors complement each other, right? I probably sound like I'm trying to convince myself and not you guys, and you are correct. Missed a stitch. We want to go into that stitch. Turtles and tortoises have such interesting anatomy because their shell is their spine. It is not an exoskeleton. Well, it is an exoskeleton, but it is not just a shell like a hermit crab. It's not a seashell. It grows with them. Um, they are attached to it fully. And that's why it's never good to pick up a turtle by the edges of its shell, like front and back. You're supposed to support more spots on it because that is their spine you are picking them up by. It's very important to support the underside of the turtle as much as possible. I mean, imagine someone picked you up by your upper or lower back only, not your skin, your bones. That doesn't sound very fun. If you ever look at like a turtle skeleton, they are weird. Although I did learn that platypus skeletons are horror movie, sci-fi horror movie ready. Um, I'm surprised we don't use that shape more. Now you're wondering about platypus skulls and skeletons. You're welcome. And I'm sorry if you go and look that up. Snip, snip. We are done with the front flippers. Hello, Snickers. I'm sorry, there's not a lot of room for you up here. But I'll give you some attention. Alright, let's untangle these. Flip him over. Make sure that I've got these pretty even. It looks like it. They look about the same. Cool. We can go ahead and get started on those. It looks like we may just get the flippers done, really, and then start working on the tiles a little bit. Honestly, we'll probably just get the flippers done for this one, and we'll do the tiles and shell in the next video. And don't lick my foot, please. I don't know what it is, but my cats really like to lick my feet, and I don't like it. It's probably because I react. One of my cats is the worst offender of that. I call it a drive-by. She'll just be walking by, and all of a sudden I just feel something very quickly on my foot, and I know she licked it. And it's just unnerving. I don't like it. I want them to stop. But cats are like small children, and they will find it funny and do it more. I snagged my yarn, so now I'm trying to get the yarn to flatten back out. If you purposely snag it in multiple spots, it will do what you want. It'll fix a snag. Get rid of that because we don't need it. I think we've got it pretty secure on this side. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to twist anywhere because we've got it pinned on the other side. I have done a lot of packing of clothing lately. I did go through and get about almost a month's worth of clothing set aside. Pretty much all of my pajama pants and some shirts to go with those, and then some underwear for reasons. So now I just gotta pack up everything else that I am probably not gonna wear. And I keep remembering that I have drawers, dresser drawers that I need to go through and pack up. I've been vacuum sealing my clothing because one, it's fun, and two, it's actually very helpful space wise. That instead of using trash bags, I can probably fit more in the trash bags than in each vacuum seal bag, but the vacuum seal bags flatten some. Although it looks like a couple of my vacuum seal bags got punctured, so they are no longer flat and have reinflated. To inspect those, and to be fair, I did get a couple of cheap brands of them because money. Because moving is not cheap. And apparently, you have to pay money to apply to renting a house. Like, I'm already going to be paying you rent every month and whatever move in fees and all of that. Why do I have to pay to apply and get rejected for your house? Like, what is this? And it's not like it's $5 either, it's like 30 or 40 an application per person, per adult. It's like, can I just claim to be 14 but paying rent, attributing to rent? Is that an option? Can we call that an option? No. All right, snip snip, and on to the next one. While going through my clothes, I did manage to throw 3 shirts away because they had holes in them or were bleached and didn't fit me very well anymore because they were too short. They were becoming crop tops, and I don't really wear crop tops really, but I'd had these shirts since high school. Um, my size has fluctuated a little, but one of those shirts was a gift from my husband in high school, and I quite enjoyed them, quite loved them. But he looked at me wearing it one day and was just like, you can get rid of that shirt. It doesn't fit you anymore. He's so sweet. I'm one of those people who, if I remember that it came from someone, I will feel bad about getting rid of it. And even if I'm not into that thing anymore, or um, it just doesn't fit me anymore, I will still try to keep it, even if it is entirely damaged. Sentimental value. I feel bad if it was a gift. If I bought it myself and it no longer fits me or I'm no longer does the thing, I'm getting rid of it. That's fine. I don't care. Um, if it was a gift, someone put effort into thinking about it and they put money into getting it. And I don't want to hurt their feelings, especially if it's someone that I see every day. If I don't see them every day, they probably forgot that I even have it. And so getting rid of it would not be a problem. And in that case, it's fine. They'll never know. And if they ask me about it, I'll just say it got destroyed. I know I'm not obligated to keep things because once someone gives you an item, it is your property at that point. Um, what you do with it is up to you. I'm just a little more attached. Yeah, do you want up here that bad? Okay, let me move some stuff for you. My old lady kitty wants up. She wants to be involved. I guess we can accommodate that. She's got an itch. She's got me a minute. Got a deep itch. Are you done? Come here. You're gonna make me pick you up, aren't you? And you're gonna complain the whole time. There you go. Move my coffee. We're gonna put it dangerously close to the edge here. Poor lady. Snickers is geriatric. She's somewhere between 15 and 17. Maybe 16, maybe 17. I'm not sure. Her birthday's in September, but that doesn't mean I know how many years I've had her. She was my childhood cat, and she's still here. Let's see. I'm 26. I had you since I was like 10 or 11. So yeah, you're about 16 or 17. I had you before I moved here. I've been here 12 years, unfortunately. 12 unfortunate years of being in the desert. So yeah, I've had my cat for over a decade. She's old. We did find her as a kitten. And we had a very vague estimate of how old she was. She was still kitten. But she was eating normal foods, not nursing. She wasn't that young. We found her in a tree. Alright. We are getting to the end here. We will probably just finish up the limbs, hide the string for the tail, and then call it good for this video. Turtle Mania appears to be quite the ongoing event here. So you can expect Turtle Mania to have probably close to 4, maybe even 5 parts. We will see how quickly I get through the shell next time. Because again, remember, I do have to sew each tile on, and then I have to attach the shell to the body and the other part of the shell. So we will do that next time. Hopefully I'm able to do that all in one video. If not, it may take 2 videos to do just the shell. We'll see. But snip, snip. We're going to move on to the tail here. And I will probably do some pinning off camera just to get everything prepared, maybe make things go a little bit faster in the next one. It does not look like I will be able to do all 3 turtles today because it is getting a little warm in here, and I think I only have about 1 more hour in me. So, but that's fine. So we are going to go ahead and just hide this little tail, make our little knot. Maybe. There we go. Make our little knot. Hide our tail in the tail and body. No snip snip this time. So we have our very comforting to hold turtle body here. I don't know why, it just feels very nice to hold like this. So, but next time we are just going to work on the shell mostly, the top shell mostly. Lots of strings, lots and lots of strings. And I don't even know which ones they go to here. We're going to move our turtle to the side here. It's going to hug on Bean a little bit. But this is what we're working with next time. And I will see you then. If you like the video, please like the video. It helps me out. And if you'd like to see more, go ahead and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.